Good evening. Live from New York, the CC Radio Network is proud to bring you tonight's show, The Rebellious Rev and the Doc, where we talk about religion like you've never heard before. There's no evangelists here, just talk about religion with a twist. So let's get started and have some fun. Welcome our hosts for tonight, The Rebellious Rev and the Doc.
There is no heaven. There is no hell. There is only this world and its dark reflection. And we do not know in which of the two worlds we are.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Doc. On loan, mind you. I still am semi-retirement. But I promised the Rebellious Rev that I would be on today, so here I am. I believe he has a good show for you today. He did not share it with me, but if you want to know what we're talking about, if you want to share your opinions, the number is 516-336-8510. Okay, once again, that's 516-336-8510. And I am the Doc, awaiting Felix to put his headset on. A lot of this stuff is new for him because, well, as our loyal listeners know, we haven't done this in a while. The last you heard, I was in retirement, which I am.
I thought you were semi-retired.
Well, I did say semi-retired before, but...
Okay. Well, this is the Rev, ladies and gentlemen, the Rebellious Rev.
That's right.
Felix won't be here till at least Monday, probably, if there's a show.
No, didn't I say Rebellious Rev? I said Rebellious
Rev.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. Or maybe you said Felix the Rebellious Rev. I don't know.
Maybe it's his twin brother. Who knows?
Who cares?
That's very true.
Good
we made it through...
evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
We made it through another week. It is another Friday. March is winding down. Getting ready for April showers. Right now, this is Good Friday. We would like to wish all of our Christian listeners very happy Easter. Sunday being the holiest day on your calendar. That's coming from your little Jewish friend, the Doc. If memory serves me correctly, I believe Jesus was tried just around dawn, and he was carrying his cross around 9 o'clock, and he died around 3. So, in fact, right now he would be in the tomb because it is sundown, and awaiting Sunday's rising. But I don't know, when I get up in the morning, Rev.
Yeah.
My family says every morning he is risen. Talking about me, he is risen.
And they're surprised.
Well, anytime you wake up in the morning, it could be a surprise. Who knows? But seriously, this is the holiest holiday in the Christian calendar, even more so than Christmas.
Well, Christmas is a festive holiday.
Well, but Christmas is, with all of the debates, most people readily agree that Jesus was not born the 25th of December. The stars were not in the alignment that would allow the Magi to find their way to Bethlehem. But Easter is always fixed, basically around the Passover holiday, which is another surprise this year because the Passover holiday isn't until a month from now. It comes out very late in the Jewish calendar this year. It's very rare that you have like a month in between.
That's true.
But we want people to call in. Once again, 516 336-8510. That's about the fourth or fifth time I've given you the number, as opposed to in the first 5 minutes of our show. Sometimes we go 30 minutes before we give you the number.
That is true. That is true. We've got a lot of things to talk about. One of them is the reason why we know Dr. Mark was sort of semi-retired and may just be broadcasting some Fridays, possibly, I guess, what we're discussing. But last Friday we were ready to broadcast, and then we had a medical emergency.
That's true. Felix's wife has not been well and threw a scare into everybody. But she's hopefully on the mend, slowly but sure. When I say the mend, we're waiting anxiously for the day she'll be able to come home.
She's back. Friday night, we had to call an ambulance to take her, last Friday, to take her back to the hospital.
So, for the time being, at least, our show is going to be mainly on Friday, I will only be with the Rev on Friday.
We'll see what we do on Monday.
That's left up to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see what we'll do on Mondays. We're not sure, but one of the things we're going to add, we're going to have sometimes have some verses or play some parts of the
Old and New Testament.
The Old New Testament. Today we're going to do a little bit. I guess it's basically from the New Testament. But
open for discussion. What?
But it'll be about healing.
Healing. Okay.
So let's go hear a little bit about healing, and obviously this is for my wife. Let's hear a little bit.
Well, tell them where it's from.
It starts off with two kings, then Psalms, a couple of sections of Psalms. So let's go ahead and start it.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. Is any sick among you? Let him call for the elders of the church, and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him up. And if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven him.
All right, pause.
Confess your faults.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if that was done today, that's nothing but faith healing. And they would take that guy and run him out of town on a rail. Just to have the body come up and, when they lay hands on you and they put their hands over your ears because you tell them you're deaf, and then all of a sudden the guy jumps back and you say, "It's a miracle, I can hear."
Well, you're being disrespectful. This is actually from Exodus. This is from the Old Testament.
I don't care whether it's the Old or the New Testament. They have to understand that the prophets were the ones who did basically the healing. The kings never healed anybody. Okay? Religious men, it was always men. Okay? The women tended usually to the sick, but it was always through faith and healing, and thus you get faith healing. Modern medicine more or less has disproven faith healing, except for one thing. When a doctor comes up to you and tells you and delivers bad news, the last thing they always say is, "Well, are you a person of faith?" And they direct you to the chapel, because that's probably the one person who can ease your pain, so to speak, would be God. Okay?
The rabbi came to visit my wife today.
When my dad was in the hospital, his rabbi visited him quite often. That was when, my dad was, he expressed being tired of, he said, modern medicine can extend the quantity of life, but it has nothing to do with the quality. My dad knew he was going to be in a nursing home, and in this case, he was in the hospital. He knew he was never going to leave. So he had told the rabbi that he more or less made his peace with God already, that he was ready to go whenever God would take him. And it was shortly after that he did pass away. In fact, he discussed it with his roommate, and he died the next day. So people who are near death can tell. We people who it's never happened to, we can't really relate to that. But when you're lying in a hospital bed and you don't know what's going on around you, your mind is still working, and nobody can tell or understand what's going on in your mind. Well, what can I say? You're the religious person. I'm just...
Well, I'm trying to do a little Bible reading here, but let's go back to it. Now it's...
Well, you might as well continue with that.
I don't even know where we were anymore.
I thought you had it on pause.
I don't know. I think I may have lost it. But let's go back to healing. We'll start from the beginning. It was only a couple of seconds.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all. Is any sick among you? Let him call for the elders of the church, and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him up. And if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven him. Confess your faults one to another, and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. He sent his word and healed them, and delivered them from their destructions. Thus saith the Lord, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer, I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will heal thee. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. Who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. If thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and wilt do that which is right in his sight, and wilt give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians. For I am the Lord that healeth thee. And it came to pass that as they went, they were cleansed. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. And Peter said unto him, Aeneas, Jesus Christ maketh thee whole. Arise and make thy bed. And he arose immediately. And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. They shall take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. And make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. And lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me.
I think it's interesting to know that it wasn't until, I believe, Jesus knew or was just about ready to accept his fate and die for all mankind's sins on the cross, that he bestowed this power to his disciples. Before then, the healing was done basically by Jesus himself. And when he